My name is Bernard Rollins. I'm chair of the Caribbean Commission in the city of Newark. The Newark Caribbean Commission was established by Newark Mayor the Honorable Ras J. Baraka. The purpose of the commission was to bring information to the Caribbean community and to keep a close relation between the mayor's office and the Caribbean community here in the city of Newark. Today I want to introduce Dr. Kelly.
Thank you. My name is Hortensia Kelly. I'm a physician here in Newark. I work at St. Michael's Hospital, and I live here in Newark.
Attorney Winston Tucker.
I am indeed Winston Tucker. I practice immigration, and that's my only focus.
Commissioner Holt.
Good evening. My name is Malia Tuaru. I'm the Guyana Commissioner on the Newark Caribbean Commission.
Consul General.
Good evening. My name is Barbara Atherley. I'm the Consul General for the Consulate of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana.
Today we want to address immigration here in the city of Newark. And our topic here is holding America to its promise and its effect on the Caribbean Commission. I would like to have this discussion and introduce Attorney, the person, the Attorney at Law, Immigration Attorney at Law, Winston Tucker.
Thank you, Mr. Rollins. Of late, we have had some serious issues, the Caribbean community that is, in particular, and immigrants in general have had some serious problems and concerns with what has been happening in immigration recently. Let us take a look first with the address by President Trump at the joint session of Congress, where the president introduced the idea of immigration reform. And immigration reform in the president's presentation is supposed to now change what the United States have been used to over the years. Bear in mind now, if you take a look at the brief history of immigration in the United States, starting with the 1920s, in that period you had exclusion of Jews, Africans, and Asians. Going forward, however, the United States managed to get their immigration policy together in 1965. And in 1965, they developed a policy on immigration that stressed family reunification, which was very important. And this is the immigration system that many families have gotten used to over the years. Now, what will the change mean to the immigrant community if indeed the Congress, the House of Representatives, and the Senate presents a bill that the president is looking for? What that will mean is that the overwhelming majority of legal permanent residents now who are granted permission to live in the United States and ultimately become United States citizens will change drastically. Presently, you get about 650,000 legal permanent residents who are family-based, meaning you get sponsorship by citizens, legal permanent residents of other relatives. And after that, you get about 150 that is employment-based. Another about 130 is for refugees and asylees. And 50,000 approximately goes to a diverse group, especially from countries that have low incidence of legal permanent residents to the United States. Now, with a system that the president outlined where you now move from family-based to one like he suggested that is similar to Canada, what will happen now is that the focus is going to shift from family to skills and employment. Indeed, you have had proposals from a Senator Cotton, a proposal that was supposed to be cutting family immigration I must say, though, that in observing some of the town hall meetings in and around the United States, when these senators and congressional representatives have gone back to their districts, there was negative feedback to Senator Cotton for what he was proposing in terms of cutting legal family immigration. So therefore, this proposal by the president to have immigration reform changes focus from family to business-oriented certainly isn't going to be good for immigration as a whole and immigration from the Caribbean community in particular. Now, I want to move on and close with reminding Americans as to what happened in previous administration, because the president did say, indeed the president said, that the difference was about policy. And yes, let's take the president at his word that it is only about policy. Ronald Reagan had conservative policies also, similar to some of the agenda that the Trump administration is pushing. But Ronald Reagan did not build up walls. He tore down walls. Ronald Reagan was the last president to grant amnesty. And we ought to observe and question why. And if we look at the history of Ronald Reagan's presidency, yes, there are some issues that we might have and still disagree with, but he did not govern with any kind of mean-spiritedness. Thank you.
You had mentioned earlier, you said in your introduction, you mentioned about building walls. Is it only the walls across Mexico, or invincible walls when we look at things like economics and look at the way America interact with other countries? Is this a case of the only, is this a white case of walls, or just go to the walls across the Mexican-U.S. border?
Well, so far what we have observed, and some of the guests might have different opinions on this, he has spoken seriously about walls blocking the migration from Mexico to the United States. And his favorite slogan was, "We're going to build a wall, and who is going to pay for it?" Since then, we have come to realize that Mexico isn't going to pay for the walls. So now the United States Congress will have to make the money available to build the walls. And there are many who are saying that walls don't work. And if you have
bridges work.
If you have a president like a Ronald Reagan, who is revered, and he was busy tearing down walls to make democracy more feasible, then how do you decide that you're going to build walls and now deliver democracy to the rest of the world? He has also spoke about America first, and America first in that as it relates to his economic policies, whatever deal is going to exact from the rest of the world, from different countries, his agenda is going to be America first. But yes, you can understand America first, but at the same time, if your message is going to be America first and you're going to disregard what others are going to be looking for as it relates to a good deal, then I can see you building up enemies in and around the world with your economic policy.
So within the economic policies, I'm asking the question: what will happen for the Muslim countries that they have come up with? Well, I mean, there's supposed to be some kind of revision of what he's saying. Isn't this not a form of an invisible wall where you're keeping people out? America's a land of immigrants. And if the Trump administration is now going to implement the construction of walls, these walls that are being built, not only Mexico, now they will be invincible walls theoretically across the world in terms of people.
I finally hear your question, and you're saying that other than the physical wall that he speak of in Mexico, then the general policies seem to be one that will be encouraging blockages. And yes, I can see blockages happening because what is happening now is tourism is being affected in New York City from the latest reports, that many folks who normally would come to the United States for vacation is now thinking twice and is now planning to go elsewhere. Why? Because of the rhetoric that came out of the first executive order on immigration that the Ninth Circuit, luckily for the United States, have put a hold on. Today, March 6th, a new executive order was signed by the president on immigration. Initially, the executive order, the Ninth Circuit found to be too broad, and this time around, the president and the White House, his administration, is of the mindset that even though it still excludes and focuses on Muslim countries, 6 Muslim countries in this case, as opposed to 7, they're of the mindset that it will pass constitutional muster. Now, one of the grave concerns with this executive order, as it was with the first, is that it seemed to isolate a religious group. And as we well know, one of the major tenets of the Constitution is freedom of religion in the United States.
I actually think it's interesting. When we first started the conversation, one of the topics that came up was we started talking about the wall being built for the Mexican, to block the Mexican border, and then we moved on to invisible walls that would block different other ethnic groups out of the United States. But looking at something even more local, there are invisible walls all around us, and they do work. They work to stop us from going to certain or achieving certain educational goals. They stop us from going to shop at different supermarkets. They stop us from just going to the malls. How many malls do we have in urban areas? Those are walls that are built. So those are local. One of the things that bothered me about the new thing that came out today from the President Trump was that he based his new resolution on skills and education. And we're talking about most of the countries that are coming to the United States to look for help are coming because they're not getting those basic needs met in their countries. So we're blocking people that don't have the skills to come in. So who are we inviting into the United States?
And that is indeed a very good question, who we are inviting in. And this is where we can expect now the changes. And bear in mind why, Mr. Rollins, why these changes. And it's a philosophical shift that they want, because it is a foregone conclusion that new immigrants do register as Democrats when they become United States citizens in greater numbers than they do for the Republican Party. So with that, and this mindset to affect the demographics is not anything new. It has been going back now for the last 20 years at least, after the last amnesty that Ronald Reagan granted. So the concern is that if you continue to give the Democrats this windfall, then the Republicans will never ever be able to elect another president legally. And I say legally in quotes because of the last 3 presidents of the United States. George Bush, Barack Obama,
Clinton.
Clinton, Barack Obama, and now Trump, the last 4. Then you will find that there has been concern with the presidency or how George Bush got to the presidency.
Okay.
Much debate continued today about that. And at the same time, much debate continue and is swirling as to how President Trump got to the presidency. So demographics, in as much as President Trump won this time, and many was of the mindset that the demographics did not favor a President Trump winning. Demographics is still in play,
Okay.
and politicians understand and respect that. So in understanding and respect that, then they're still going to go after immigration.
You're talking about the
and
popular vote.
and try to change demographics through new immigrants.
Okay.
And so this is why they're shifting now from family-based to business and skills.
Skills based. Let me switch sides a little bit. Consul General, I know that there's a large Guyanese population here in the city of Newark and in Essex County. How do you receive this or look at this immigration, the new immigration laws that are coming and is impacting your country, Guyana, where you're from? I know Guyanese like to travel.
Okay, I know, yes, indeed, Guyanese like to travel. Let me say thanks for allowing me to have this opportunity. And where I'd like to focus on is to reach out to the Guyanese community to let them know, in every country there are laws, right? And laws do change. And the onus will be on them to see how best they can comply. But in doing so, the consulate itself is standing ready to support them in any way that is possible. And we want to encourage Guyanese, whether they're legally here or illegal, undocumented, documented, that the consulate is there for them to get the required legal documents from us with regards to them being Guyanese. That being said, we would like persons to know that as long as they can, they have evidence that they are Guyanese, they're free to come to the consulate and not just register, but make sure that they do have their passport or any legal document that they need to travel.
I know that they have an organization called an organization of Caribbean consulates, and I don't know if this, I mean, with what you're saying, is it the same goes for all the consul generals? I mean, is there a discussion on immigration and its impact on the Caribbean?
Yes, we met as a CARICOM Consuls General Corps, and we did have some discussions last week around the issue. What we have been trying to do is to encourage our citizens to make sure that they utilize the facilities of the consulate for whatever documents they need within the ambits of the consulate. We're also encouraging them to pay heed to the laws, because we don't want them to run forward of the laws, right, unnecessarily, and for them to ensure that they do have a plan in case anything happens. What if they have temporary power of attorney for any relative to deal with the children or anything that may occur during the any issue of deportation or being arrested, and not just to wait until things happen, but they have to exercise caution and to be prepared for anything.
Well, with that said, we're going to go to a commercial break. Thank you.